And we are back again. This is last round of Tata Steel Masters. We already have 4 games finished in draws, but 3 games in Tata Steel Masters are still going on. The game of today is the Dutch Derby between Jordan van Foreest and Anish Giri. Complicated position.
Yeah, it's extremely complicated. Not something as a player you wish from the last round,
yeah.
But on the other hand, if you are white and you want to do something, then you have to take risks. This is what Anish is doing. It's probably his last game before the candidates.
It is.
Yeah, so obviously, actually it has a huge impact, because if he managed to win this game, I think he will have very nice memories from white. Yeah. On the other hand, 50% is something, he's on 50%
he's
right
on 50.
Now, yeah. He's on 50%. If something doesn't really thrill you, if you end up with +1 and the win in the last round, then you think like, wow, it was a very good warm-up.
Yeah.
Because after, when Anish would just play Vaikanze without the candidates, I think he would care much more about the result.
Yeah.
But when you know that the candidate is coming in just 1 month's time, then you feel like if I have played interesting games, I'm in a fighting mood. I got my rhythm, because after all, training and playing is 2 completely different things. Yeah. So having had good practice now in January would, but one thing, Anish doesn't want to finish the game, the tournament with a loss.
Yeah.
That's for sure, because then you kind of little bit forget about the candidates and you need little bit of time to
recover.
Yeah, mentally. But here in this game, everything is possible.
Yeah, it's definitely 3 results game after e takes f5. AB is one of the options. To take back on ef5 is also another option, though to my mind AB comes as first option.
Yeah, but AB is also somehow very sharp.
Yeah.
And to me it was kind of striking that Jordan after e4 almost instantly blitzed a5 out. Like, did he really calculated everything after ef5?
Maybe he anticipated ef5.
He anticipated ef5, but on the other hand, if you did not calculate very precisely, you have no way of being able to judge this position.
Yeah.
And
AB. Now the question is if white takes back or plays knight e4.
This is very messy now.
Yeah.
Anish would love to blitz out his move right now as well, but at the same time he also feels that this is a very important moment, so just the desire of blitzing something out and common sense that you have to think about is 2 different things.
Indeed. AB4, knight e4 or AB4? I guess that's the only question. And we have, Anton Guijarro, he finished his game, draw against Lucas van Foreest, which means that the tournament is completely messed up now. There is no sole leader. And if Pavel Elyanov wins his game against Ervin Lamy, he will catch Anton. And if Abdusattorov wins his game, then he will also catch. So we will have a tie between 3 players for the first place.
Yeah, I think, however, that though is quite a good result for Anton, because he won the direct clash versus Pavel Elyanov, which can actually count almost as a double win. Yeah. If they are tying, as the first criteria in the tiebreak system in the challengers group is the direct encounter, and only after that the players, the Berger-Sonneborg will be checked, and even the Berger-Sonneborg seems, for me, without calculating really, but just feeling wise, favor Anton, because he has lost to the bottom seed Max Warmerdam, which is very good for the Berger system, because it means that you made your points against the...
You won a lot of games,
Yes, against the top guys.
Yeah, that is true. Anish is still thinking. Shall we take a look at Abdusattorov's game, because then this game is very important. We will have a tie between 3 players or not.
Yeah, it could easily happen. Yeah, I mean, we see that Pavel is seriously pressing against Erwin Lamy, so all the chances for Pavel to share the first place. And Abdusattorov seems to be somewhat better. This is a more strategical game.
But he will try to.
Yeah, there is a weakness on c6. White's problem is a little bit connected with the fact that he had weakened his kingside structure with f4.
Yeah.
With the white pawn being on f2, it would be much more quiet. On the other hand, probably f4 had some direct purposes. If we go back a bit, then we see, yeah, white got this structure, but black voluntarily gave up on the structure with dc, probably believing that she will get enough counterplay along the d file. Yes, and white is counting on pressing the c6 pawn. So knight g5, rook c1, rook c8, knight c5, rook d5. A very, very nice knight on c5, but black clearly fights against this knight with f4, knight e6. And that's how we reach this position. And white played now knight f2, the harmonious move knight f2.
e4 is the threat.
e4 is the threat. And also the knight on f2 does a very nice job covering vital squares, d3 square, d1 square, e4 square, g4 square, protecting the king. White seems to be somewhat better.
Yeah, it's definitely white who has to be preferred in this position. We have Fabiano still playing his game. He already won the tournament yesterday in round 12. Nobody can catch him anymore. So does it take off pressure from him? Can he try to go for 10 out of 13 plus 7?
I think he just wants to play a game. It's certainly a bonus situation that he doesn't have to think about the result anymore. He has already won the tournament and he got a playable position. We don't know exactly how much playable. For example, yeah, that's the trick, that the tricky move knight d5 backfires because black has this knight f7 move. Yeah. So basically with f5, this was the moment we left it off. f5, black weakens his structure but has a very clear idea of kicking the knight away from the central square on e4, and after knight c3, black plays knight e5. Maybe c4, somewhere knight c6. At the same time, somehow white knights are dominated.
Yeah.
The knight from d2 doesn't really have a square where you would like to place it, and also knight on c3 doesn't really have a square. White's trump is of course the open a file, and that black is somehow forced to protect the pawn on b5 and with the queen and with the rook, but black has enough dynamics, so something like king f7 or even king h7 followed by bishop f6, maybe queen c6, then some c5, c4 ideas. Black seems to have a very comfortable position.
Indeed.
And I did not answer your question. Is he going for 10 out of 13 or not?
He will try.
Yeah, he will. He just plays a game and takes it move after move.
And also in Jeffrey's game, b4 I see as the last move, which makes things pretty messy.
Yes, so we can be already happy. There is no repetition of moves. Bishop g7, king g7, b4. Using the fact that the black king is on the diagonal.
Yeah.
So after cb4, probably white has queen b2 or even rook b1, because white can try to use the pin.
Yeah, rook b1 looks pretty decent, and rook b4.
And rook b4, and white will use queen b2 later, because black has the problem that he cannot take on b6 because of queen b2 check tempo, and if black moves then already rook is falling. So this is just justification, and if thanks to this b4 white is able to cement the knight on b6 and black is unable to get rid of it, then it seals the question, can black just take on b6? And yeah, he just takes.
He does. And takes with the pawn.
With the pawn.
The idea is that after knight b6, maybe b takes c5, yeah?
That's the key point. Knight b6, b takes c5. And again, dc5 would run into some pin. It's not as deadly as before, but it still loses the piece.
Yeah. That's bad news for black.
It is deadly indeed. Of course, black has to take on c4, queen takes c4, and black has to take on c5 or play queen b4.
Yeah, and if queen a6, queen c5, that's, or queen queen c5 probably, not queen e5.
That's fine, yeah. Because the danger is, of course, if white gets a passer on c6, but the pawn on e4 seems to be falling, and black is fine. So everything comes down to a very concrete line: b4, knight takes b6, b6.
I see somebody asking if I'm drinking beer. No, I'm not drinking beer. That's a tea. I don't drink beer.
We run out
or
of
any alcohol. Yeah. So this is just tea. No worries, guys. You won't see me drunk, but meanwhile, I will remind you that if you're not subscribed to our channel yet, do it today, because then you will be gifted a very nice water bottle with the signature of Magnus Carlsen. Who doesn't want to have signature of Magnus Carlsen on his bottle? And there we go. This is the bottle. This is the game.
Yeah, and knight b6, knight a5. Of course, this is the trick. So how does black react? Queen c7, because now white wants to jump to c6. Exactly. And if white can damage the pawn structure, then this is still somewhat awkward for black.
Yeah.
Knight c6 played.
Somehow I have a feeling that white is in control of everything with this b4.
Yeah, I mean, now if you get the BC-DC structure, then this is really good news for white. And I don't see the trick from the black side. Okay, the question can be later, if can black try to break with e7, e6, because the knight on c6 will be loose, but the knight on c6 and this queen b2 extra check and some rook fc1 does feel like white has the pressure here.
He cannot also try to hang on with the pawns, like if he takes c b4 and after knight b8, rook b8, these pawns are not falling, then one would think of sacrificing the exchange. But unfortunately, both a6 and b4, especially b4 after queen b2, queen b4, then the compensation is not enough for the exchange.
Yeah, okay, one could argue that then taking on d5, maybe I have some chances to get some drawish fortress position, but it's certainly not a draw yet and not a dream scenario. And a part of that, white really can maybe first include rook fc1, and the queen b2, queen b4 move still will be available, and also the a6 pawn is hanging. So just as you mentioned, it doesn't seem to work.
Doesn't work.
But if you have to move the rook, which it seems you have to, I mean, where do you place this rook? It's already the first question.
Yeah,
because everywhere it seems like it's not the ideal square.
Yeah.
Maybe Jeffrey in some kind of a trouble.
Looks like. Oh, and a lot of development happened in Anish's game.
Wow. So ef, a, b, f takes e6, bishop e6, a takes b4, and bishop g4. So black has sacrificed the pawn, but got some serious
I'm scared.
compensation.
I'm really scared. What is this? Bishop g4. Queen b7 is...
Some nasty pin, yeah?
Yeah.
But on the other hand, how serious is this? I can maybe just play queen e4, can I? Just getting out of the pin, I want to follow it up with knight e5, and if my knight lands on e5, then I will be claiming that my knight is such a monster that I don't care about your pair of bishops.
And bishop b4 you cannot take because of knight d5, yeah?
Yeah, it doesn't scare me at all. I don't know, knight d5, even some move like knight e5, but okay, yeah, knight d5.
I see. But what happens if I, instead of taking, if I go rook e8, knight e5?
Which rook? Yeah, this rook, yeah.
Knight e5, and f6 doesn't work.
Yeah, then I give a check.
Knight f7
and check. And I'm winning the game. Everything falls apart. Check.
Yeah.
And just everything is collapsing. I mean, once black loses the light square bishops, it will all be bad news. So after queen e4, I wonder that you have the option of taking and taking on b4 now.
Yeah.
I go knight d5 and you can maybe pin me with queen c6.
Also an option.
This would make sense. However, then I still have a lot of dynamics with rook a7. I'm activating my rook, I'm setting queen f7.
Yeah, still very sharp.
It's very, very sharp.
Still very sharp.
I mean, I can imagine how I would feel if it would be Vincent's, but I would be, so I know how you feel right now. Yeah, this is it's a little bit out of control, but it's out of control for both sides.
f5 is the question which we get in chat. What happens after f5?
Because queen d5, then you want to take on.
But f5 also
d4.
weakens a bit.
Yeah, okay, it's a very common, very direct idea. I was thinking about f5, but we didn't go there yet. Yeah, so bishop takes b4.
Yeah, be careful not to take on b5 as the piece will be lost after bishop f3.
Okay, I just assume that something should work, but that's one thing to assume. Another one is to make something work. Wow, this is now a very critical moment. Yeah, because if bishop g4, queen e4 is not a solution, then
white is in trouble.
I'm not sure. I would not dare to say that, but it would
I love your positivity.
No, okay, I mean, there are arguments for white as well,
yeah,
but it's all so concrete, yeah? I mean, now black is really threatening to go rook e8, and I'm not liking the live feed, yeah? That Anish is really deep in thoughts, like if he had underestimated this move.
Yeah.
Maybe he had underestimated this move, bishop g4. Certainly we don't see this confident Anish who feels like, okay, I was expecting this.
Yeah. And we have a question if Varmerdam Max is also winning his last game, because he was the one who beat yesterday Anton Guijarro. Is he also winning his last game? Oh, wow.
It's another Dutch derby. I mean, Max Varmerdam versus Jan Smeets. What? What?
What is going on?
And Smeets down to 8 minutes. And Jan playing the Caro-Kann instead of his Petrov.
Yeah.
In which world are we living?
He did play Caro-Kann in this tournament.
Really, yeah?
Yeah, one game.
But when he played the Petrov, he beat Abdusatov with black. Yes. Why would you change that? Yeah. Why would you change that? Okay, probably for the fact that he also wanted to mess things up and was trying to play
trying to get sharp game
for a win, but I mean the position we are seeing is really scary. Yeah, I'm not liking this. Not at all. As being a Jan Smeets fan, we know each other for a very long time, and I just love his passion for the game and the way he puts all his energy into the games and all these sparkling time trouble phases.
This is real trouble. Knight c6 is also...
I mean, how will he survive the next few moves? That's the big question. If he would survive the next few moves, then he has some hopes, but this is looking
good.
Really dangerous, and not just dangerous, bad.
Yeah, it's not about time now. Time makes it worse that you have only 6 minutes for coming 20 moves, but the position itself, I mean, this looks completely over.
Yeah, I mean, because the move you want to play is
Yeah.
something like knight f5. Rook b8 is already there, but you can also just maybe take knight c6 first. And black is not able to develop because then already...
Rook will be
Also,
lost.
you cannot put this bishop anywhere.
Ooh,
Yeah, this is horrible.
it looks really bad.
This is just horrible. No. Yeah, wow. I mean, maybe Max will have a very good finish, and then he can claim that why is the tournament not starting right now?
Right now, yeah.
Now finally,
Yeah.
I'm in shape.
Yeah.
And he did mention yesterday in the interview that he felt like his time management was very bad during the tournament, and
Yeah.
he came to this conclusion. And now we see again he's 1 hour 7 minutes on the clock. That he needs to play faster. He needs to control the clock much better, and because of time trouble, he made many mistakes, which he now tries to eliminate already.
And in another game, the very important game between Pavel Elyanov and Erwin Lamy, Pavel sacrificed the piece. Oh wow.
Wow, yeah.
Okay.
So, a lot of things are happening in the challengers. Everybody wants to get to this first place. G6, F4, wow. Wow.
Giving. If I take it right now, GH, Queen H5, then Bishop C2, it's just very tough to control all this Rook E3, Rook G3 coming. This is just very bad. So he plays F5 first.
Exactly. I mean, Rook is threatening to come to G3,
Yeah.
Bishop to C2, and threaten on H7. So G takes H5 is out of questions. Out of question. And after G6, F4, Black has to play F5
Yeah.
to block the position. And then Elyanov says, okay, no matter what,
I'm just gonna leave it there. Wow.
I'm gonna go G4 and I'm gonna break your structure. Yeah, well, one can argue that even if Elyanov wins this game, he can't win the challengers because the tiebreak favors Anton. But on the other hand, believe me, if you share the first place,
You still feel very good.
you feel very good. Yeah, +4. And we have also seen some examples in the past that when two great players shared the first place with very convincing play, then they both got a spot in the Masters. So you also have this kind of scenario in your mind that
G4 seems very aggressive. Already second day in a row, he has fireworks on the board, Pavel Elyanov. G takes H5, G takes F5, and Knight F6, kind of the only move to not to lose right away. Otherwise, Rook E3, Rook G3, Queen H5, everything comes. How to proceed? I don't like to take on F6.
Yeah, but sometimes you have to.
But I have to sometimes, if just taking and maybe taking on H5. But do I have time for other moves, like, let's say, King H1?
I mean, in general, Knight F6 is a very classy defensive move, because you feel like you have to eliminate White's very strong pawn on E5 because it just controls everything. And if White takes on F6, Bishop F6, you feel like you get counter chances by hitting the D4 pawn. One of the moves that would come here to mind is Rook E5. I mean, you would not even hesitate in a blitz game. You instantly put it there and then let's see what happens. In a classical game, of course, it's different. And of course, the question is also there, what happens if White just plays King H1? Because the desired move, Knight E4, does not work due to the pin. Due to the pin. So...
But maybe Knight G4.
Maybe Knight G4 or just King H8, which is also very natural and useful move for Black. Now already Knight E4 is a set, so you can't really hold on taking back the piece much longer. You take and take it from there. Black's problem, of course, is the bishop on B7. On the other hand, if imagine the scenario Black breaks with C5.
It can be still tricky,
and all of a sudden this bishop can target the king on H1.
That's true. A lot of complications is in challengers, a lot of sharp games, so we'll just take a short break and we'll be back soon. Welcome back, everybody. Here we are in Vaikanzai. This is the last round of Tata Steel Chess Tournament. We have the winner of the tournament already in Tata Steel Masters, which is Fabiano Caruana. Magnus Carlsen drew his game against Wesley So, but we have three more games in Tata Steel Masters.
Yeah, I mean, we have a lot of action still in the Masters, but even more action in the Challengers. We have left with this very exciting game, Pavel Ayanov versus Erwin Lamy. White sacrificed a piece. Erwin managed to counter it. Let's just take a look at this position. I mean, White felt like he has the initiative going, a lot at stake, wanting to win the tournament. Yes, maybe not on tiebreaks, but still try to catch the first place Anton David Guijarro, who has drawn his game. Ayanov needs to win this game. Erwin Lamy also needs to win this game. And after f4, f5, g4, White tries to use brutal force. Brutal force doesn't necessarily always mean the best way.
Yeah.
But one can understand in this tournament situation that the emotions are carrying the players away from calm play.
And knight of 6, a very classy move.
A very classy move. I mean, black is not interested of being piece up. Usually this is also the usual scenario. If your opponent plays aesthetically nice, you feel obliged to meet it exactly the same nice way. ef6, bishop f6. Now White continues fighting for this initiative with another exchange sacrifice, rook e5, boom. But of course black is not even interested to consider taking it. Black moves the king to h8, and after queen takes h5, rook g8 check, I think we reach a position where we can ask who is better and why.
Exactly. My question was like, now who is better? Because actually this rook is very beautiful on e5, but the pawns on f5 and f4, you don't really want to have it. Then you don't have any bishop c2 because of pawn f5, and this bishop on f6 is such a great piece, controlling everything and controlling all the damage that can happen on the king side. King f2 is played. If not king f2 and king h1, then c5 might be very scary.
Exactly. I mean, then all of a sudden the dead bishop wakes up and might be the decisive factor. So yeah, in this sense, king f2 kind of had to be played.
And why not c5?
Yeah, why not c5 is a good question. Why not c5? I mean, usually c5 is the move you play automatically.
Yeah.
But here a lot at stake. One of the questions is, can White take on c5, or is that just too crazy?
Taking and d4 I wanted to play.
But your rook is hanging.
Look, my rook is hanging. That was not my idea. I missed that.
You could argue that you are threatening, but I have rook g1,
yeah.
And it seems like I'm having things under control.
Yeah.
And that was the justification behind d takes c5, that I'm eyeing your rook on g8.
Yeah.
But you can have, for example, some little check, bishop h4 check. Now then I most probably have to go to f1.
Oh, that's annoying.
And then you might have some bishop c6, bishop, I don't know, it's the position is completely out of control. But also the black king on h8, if something lands on this diagonal.
Bishop b4, bishop c3. So
yeah, it's very messy.
Very sharp. After d c5, although I probably can try something like queen c7.
Yeah, you have many options. Yeah, queen c7.
Then bishop e3.
I mean, the king on f2 feels really vulnerable.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a one-sided affair at all, and I'm not sure if Ayanov's choice of really going all in was the right way. And we see a move by Erwin.
Not c5. Queen f8.
Nice little move as well. I mean, planning to go queen g7, attacking the g file. At the same time, this move also supports c5, just in case protects the b4, which is okay, not the decisive factor.
And if rook g1, then rook g1, king g1, queen g7, and another rook anyway comes to g8.
Oh la la, this is
that looks very good for black.
That's
if not winning already.
Very scary.
Yeah.
Very scary. I don't know, so queen f8. Nicely played. And now Ayanov is faced with a very tough choice. And then what does it mean if Erwin would win this game? I believe the direct encounter, since Erwin had been undefeated so far, would mean that there is no direct encounter because it's a draw.
Yeah.
And if you are undefeated and you haven't lost the game, usually for Berger Soneboard that was a very nice scenario. But Anton Guijarro has this big advantage of losing to the bottom seed, which, not bottom seed, but bottom seed, because Max was the lowest rated player, and in the tournament situation also he's taking one of the last places, but he might be winning again another game. He is maybe climbing, so I don't know, that's already something for the arbiters to keep an eye on how this tiebreak finally would end, but it brings even more and more spice to this game.
And definitely your Erwin would be very happy, even if he will not take the first place. He will share it, and
and we get a question, but do you really want to win it, as terrible things might happen to you in the Masters? Yes, there is a danger, but believe me, I mean, any player would sign immediately to be part of the Masters group. And a player of, for example, David Anton Guijarro, I think he's a player who can feel even comfortable in that tournament. He played the Grand Swiss Open in Isle of Man, and he was doing extremely well against the greatest players in the world, and was almost about to sensationally qualify for the candidates.
No, he did extremely good in Isle of Man. He did win the Gibraltar Open once, I remember, and he shared first at European Individual. He was second, but he shared first. So he's a very dangerous. He's really dangerous,
very dangerous player. Of course, playing in the Masters group, this is always something special. There's also a lot of psychology involved, because when you are playing one game after another against the strongest players, that's a completely different scenario than in an open tournament when you play good, you have, for example, +3, +4 score, and then you face one of the top players. You have a very good mindset, you are very happy before the game and so on. But in Vaikanze, we see in the Masters that such great players like Yu Yanji has been suffering, and Nikita Vityuhov, I mean, all brilliant players can also have a tough time.
That is true. And now Pavel Levelianov is in a deep thought, how did I do this to myself?
Because now it's not automatic at all. And how to deal with this Queen G7? Somehow it feels that the Black King on H8 is so nicely placed, totally safe, while the colleague on F2, especially if something happens along the G file, then...
In Masters game, actually, Jeffrey sacrificed the exchange and went CB, knight B8.
No, he went knight D7.
Knight D7.
He went knight D7. Okay, but this is a exchange sacrifice, which is a nice position exchange sacrifice. The only problem is that it's
a good knight.
It's not enough as a compensation, but the question is, and Rook B1, Queen A5 was played. Look at this.
That's beautiful. Let's show the trick. If you take the queen, then after Rook B1, Queen F1 takes.
You take this pawn, and one can argue that this is maybe holdable for black, because the pawn
D5 is also weak.
D5 is isolated. I mean, still it's not obvious, because white can maybe just protect, kick the knight, and get the king to the center and start pushing on the king side. But since the position is bad, Jeffrey probably thought that this is a better practical chance than to suffer there in some bad structured position.
On the other hand, he can just play H3 or any other move which gives white king space to escape, and then threat will be to take on A5.
I mean, something like H3, H4, F3, I mean, all this.
I would love to play F3. I'm tiny bit scared that I am opening some diagonals for my king, but at least now e4 pawn will not be hanging. Yeah.
Yeah, is maybe queen c3 an idea? It's another teaser. Yeah, that okay somehow.
If I take.
Yeah, if you
rook,
take, then I take.
Queen f1, queen
I
d4.
give a check, and then suddenly, I mean, black has a lot of dynamics with this queen on d4, knight on d3, and there is still a passer on the a file. This is.
We shouldn't forget about it.
There is some dynamics.
Yeah.
But one still has the feeling that white is seriously better, and there should be a way to stabilize a nice advantage here and squeeze the position. Even a move like queen e1 is possible. I don't know if.
Yeah, queen e1 is very direct.
Yeah, very direct. I only don't know that whom does this queen exchange, for example, favor. Because black is obviously not able to let the white queen get the long diagonal. So in this sense, some kind of an endgame is almost obligatory.
Takes and rook b4 maybe?
And yes, somehow to activate.
But
if the black pawn can get to a4,
a4 then it's good, yeah.
It's really nice.
Yeah, nothing is over in this game, but definitely white is the one who will be playing for more.
Yeah.
And for 2 results probably.
Absolutely. I mean, this is a practical chance, since Jeffrey must have felt like if after knight c6 he lets white to spoil black's pawn structure with bc dc, we might be ending up in something we have seen yesterday in the game between Fabiano Caruana and Jan-Christoph Duda, when the damaged pawn structure is too much to handle. The knight is unstable on b6. Just imagine rook takes a6, already queen b3 is a double attack threat. The knight has nowhere to go. If knight d7, then pawn on e7 is
bad.
Yeah. So maybe
practical chance.
Maybe if Jeffrey had missed this before, not the move itself, but the fact that after knight b6, knight b6, there is this knight a5 intermediate move. He just relied on the fact that, okay, I'm taking on b6, what can happen to me? But all of a sudden this knight a5 changed. A nice exchange sacrifice. It's a practical chance, and queen a5 is another nice move.
Yeah, Jeffrey is a fighter and he loves all those tricks, so he will definitely try to fight for a draw here. But
and also the situation is that Yuanji had been suffering throughout the tournament. We just couldn't really recognize him. I mean, it was obviously not the Yuanji we knew. But if he would win this game, for example, definitely he would have at least some positive memories out of this tournament, and in this sense it was obvious that he will try everything in this game.
Yeah, and in Anish's game actually queen e3 happened, not queen e4 that we were looking at, but after queen e3, rook e8. Shall we? Yeah. Queen e3, rook c e8 and knight e5. That's the current position. This is what we were also looking at. We said that f6 doesn't work.
No,
that was with queen e4.
Yeah. But what I was claiming, that whenever white lands a knight on e5, this is bad news for black. I mean, bad news in the sense that white is stable and black has to solve some issues.
But knight e5, how expected is that one? Because you have to consider f6, you have to consider bishop e5, what happens after bishop e5 and all these trades. Yeah,
but basically that's the point, that if you already play queen e3,
you're ready for...
You are ready, because after rook c8 you don't have any other moves. So it's kind of clearly main calculation for the players. And after f6 there are all kinds of knight d5s.
Yeah. Knight d5, queen d8?
No, queen d8, then knight f7.
Knight f7,
exactly. That was my idea. Maybe you have queen b, but then f6 is falling. I mean, f6 doesn't seem to work. If you have to take on e5 with the bishop, this seems to end in a bad endgame. So takes. I open up the f file and rook takes e5, rook f7.
Yeah, he takes it.
He takes it, but this case it's black to one who has to be careful.
takes, I guess, taking. Anish is surprised a bit with the choice. Rook e5. b5 is also hanging. That's bad news for black, right?
Yeah, it feels like rook takes e5 has to be played, and Anish got his endgame.
Yeah.
He got his endgame with a lovely knight on c3. White is definitely totally safe, and is the one who is pressing that. So, and Anish removes the jacket, feeling that this is the moment. Now the game starts. Everything else was just
Let's hype it up.
Everything so far was just a warm up to get this lovely endgame, and now the torture starts.
There we go. Bishop. I had a feeling that Jordan was planning to,
move the bishop,
to defend the f7 pawn, because one cannot allow rook f7, then rook a7, and it will be more or less over.
Yeah, I'm wondering when Anish will take back his jacket, because it's a little bit freezing in white hands, even in the playing hall, and especially when so many games had finished. You need everyone in the tournament hall to warm up the air.
That is true, though. I hope that our viewers see that we have full playing hall. It's Sunday today, everybody is here, and then it's not so cold. But Anish was the last one yesterday to finish the game, and I was in the hall for the first time, because normally I'm sitting here commentating, and I was like, oh my god, it's freezing. Because there was no one, he was the last one. I mean, there were like 10 people or so watching his game, but it was already 8:30, and I was like, can you please finish the game?
Yeah, I have my own memories.
Yeah.
Yes, I know.
It's indeed, it's really freezing. But that time, yesterday, he had his jacket on. Yeah.
For sure. And in 10 minutes time, I believe we will see his jacket back on as well.
And we have a comment that Giri has his CPU heating up. That is true. All right, bishop h5. Now it is about Anish to think how to proceed, as it feels that he has chances in this game.
Yeah. And we are told that it makes sense to get back to Max Warmerdam versus Jan Smith, the other Dutch derby, where white is about to win or to mate.
Uh-oh.
Wow, Jan Smith's down to 1 minute on the clock for 50 moves.
Oh my god.
But not just that, look at the position, rook b7 check, king e8. Will he survive another few moves? I think
Knight
that's the real question.
c6 and queen b5.
Max Warmerdam on fire, at the end of the tournament.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is also queen c2. I mean, queen c2 wins on the spot. I'm setting queen c6, and I know, but after queen you.
I wanted actually to take knight e6 first.
But then there is a queen e5 check.
Yeah. And queen c2, queen e5 check, and then f4.
But still, this is f4 and it
queen g6 and queen c6.
Yeah, two mating ideas. Yeah.
That would be beautiful game if this one works and Max wins like this. It would be very beautiful finish.
Okay, I believe that almost all
everything works. Yeah.
Move win. Yeah. I mean, even just a simple knight b5.
Yeah.
How do you deal with knight b5 also? But clearly, I mean, this knight e6, fe, queen c2. That was the motive I noticed with queen c2 immediately. Yeah, that I'm eyeing both moves. Knight e6. Okay, fe6 is obligatory.
And queen c2, knight e7.
Yeah, can maybe black. Yeah, and then black might be in the game.
I might have done the Elianov sacrifice. Yeah.
I mean, even though it really looks so tempting, but still, if it's no mate, but it might be mate. It might be mate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, okay, white has so many winning attempts. He has 47 minutes on the clock.
Yeah, probably like first 20 moves on engine is winning.
I would not be surprised, yeah.
Yeah. That's very good news for Warmerdam Max, who qualified from the qualifier we also have qualifiers who are playing to get a spot into challengers. I've played that tournament 2 times.
And
I
how
never
did it
won.
go? Never won, but you were
No,
close.
but
Or?
I was close. I was close twice, and then I got invited to challengers anyway. It went horrible, but then I played Women's World Championship and it went very good for me.
Yeah, because then it was suddenly so easy, no?
Yes.
I mean, after the
I was not
challengers,
facing all the time
all the monsters.
2600
Yeah.
players. Yeah.
Yeah, this is just awful, and Max rightly takes his time, because that's the only thing you should not be doing, that you are rushing, you have the time, you feel that you know that you are winning, opponent has no time. Just take your time and calculate precisely the final finishing touch.
Yeah, and we have we have a request in chat if we could please check the Nihal Sarin Mamedov game.
I have seen Nihal Sarin walking up and down very energetically. Like if he feels that, yes, I'm going after my opponent.
Wow, and that's a very interesting clash, because Nihal is very aggressive and Mamedov Rauf is also known to be very aggressive, active player. So that's very, very interesting to see how this game goes. We already have a lot of things going on. Is white mating?
Well, I don't know. In order to understand, maybe we have to move a little bit back to understand the logic behind the game. So indeed, white has already lost the right to castle right from the beginning, but it doesn't really mean anything, because white is the one controlling the center. And after king e2, bishop d6, he goes for direct action with knight g5, g6, weakness is provoked, bishop d6, cd, queen h4. So basically almost everything by force goes down to this position, h5, g4. There is no way black can defend the king side, so he needs to create his own counter chances. Pardon me. Queen b6 is played,
gh,
queen b5 check, and king e1. So that's how we reach this position.
That was very, very good idea to go back, because I was thinking that, okay, if you take queen b2, I might even castle. But unfortunately, I don't have, I'm not allowed anymore, as king e2, king e1 was played.
Yeah, if black would take on b2, then you can just move the rook, and even maybe just hg6 is possible to try to play in the evergreen spirit. However, for example, check, king e2 check is a problem. King f3 runs into f3, g6 check, and king f1 would run into queen b1 check, and queen g6 protecting everything. So one needs to be careful. After king e1, queen b2, therefore just move the rook, and the attack is anyway heating up. And another question, if black chases the white king with queen b4 check, then king f1, queen b5 check, where does the white king hide? Yeah, king g2, then queen I can d5. Give the check, then you can play e4.
Then queen d4, queen g7?
Yes, there is this defense. Queen g7, gf, rook f7, and
you
it's a messy.
Take on f7.
And the position is messy. So the question is how to hide, when to go to g1. It might look ugly, but on the other hand, if hg6 is such a big threat,
I can also play f3, cannot I?
You can play, because here black has f6.
Yeah.
Here black has f6, and hg6 is met by queen g5 check.
But I guess f3, f6 anyway,
f3, f6. I mean, it does feel like black at least centralized his queen. But look at Rauf is not looking that happy. I mean, does that mean that he would love to be on the white side of this position?
If he is the one who has to chase for a draw, then definitely the game did not went how he planned to.
And there is also another one. Look at this. After queen b4 check, there is maybe king d1 running to the other side, because queen a4 check can be met by b3, and queen takes b2, rook c1 would not really matter me much. Since I'm getting ag, that's all I need. So in fact, how how to hunt this king further.
Probably not so easy. Sacrifices won't work. Something like knight d4 is just e d4, and okay, I opened up king a little bit, but queen b4, king d1, and I cannot take the pawn anyway. Which means
yeah, but then I don't really see the big point is that after f6 white can take hg6
yes.
now with the king on e1,
yeah.
because otherwise after knight takes e6 there would be the trick of playing queen d5, hitting the rook on h1, and we get the message that Max Warmerdam has won his game. He just mated Jan's mates. So knight c6 happened, bishop c5, queen b5, knight d8,
and rook f7. Uh-oh.
Yeah, designs, because after king h7, rook g7
and
takes,
queen f7.
Queen f7. This is the one when you can already choose how to
mate. Yeah.
mate your opponent. Wow, what a great finish for the young Dutch player.
Yeah, amazing. He should be definitely happy with his last two games. He beat Anton Guijarro, who only lost the game against him. He did not lose in tournament, but he lost yesterday. And today he beat Jan Smits, who is a very experienced player.
Very good style. Yeah, wow. So back to Elyanov. What is in Elyanov's game happening? The queen got to f8, rook c1, queen g7, queen h3. Aha, so white relies on this, and bishop c8. Putting the pressure.
Yeah, I think Erwin is now in the driver's seat. Let's check Nodirberg's game against Dinara. That's also a very important game for the challengers group.
Wow, quite hard to
assess. A3, B4 happened, AB, and now
it feels like white is pressing.
Yeah, but on the other hand, one can argue that I got rid of the A7 pawn, and once you take C6, then B4 will also be weak.
Yeah, but I see some very unpleasant pin.
Yeah.
I mean, along this A2, G8 diagonal, the knight on F2 is incredibly nicely placed, protecting the white king. There are no ideas with rook d1 because the knight is covering the d1 square, and I only see weaknesses in black's camp.
Yeah. Can he actually try direct rook c6?
I would not rule out the option, but it does feel a bit early because also the knight on f2 is hanging.
Yeah.
And unless you are winning, I don't want to exchange this.
Exactly.
These pieces.
And I guess I'm not winning yet, as the 8th rank is.
But okay, I mean, for example, rook c7, slattering mate, you have to go, and then I take AB just to win. Yeah, it's also very, very promising.
Knight e4 is also another way. Okay, I don't want to allow rook d1.
But it's also just a check.
Yeah, but then maybe I'm winning the piece.
I mean, even this.
Queen e1, knight f2 back, yeah? Yeah, this looks like it's made.
Yeah, I mean, okay, white has many, many very nice options. Black seems to be in trouble.
Rook c6 happened.
Rook c6 happened, yeah. And Dinara is down to less than 10 minutes.
Yeah, time trouble for Dinara.
And the bad position. Very unpleasant position. And this case, Abdusattorov would be moving to +4, sharing the first place with David Anton Guijarro. And the question is, from this very big clash of the two heavyweights, Pavel Elyanov versus Erwin Lamy, who will emerge as the winner? Because it seems like draw is quite an unlikely result. And look at the king marching towards the center, king e3. What the hell is going on here? I mean, really, the king is safer on e3.
Safe, that's true.
Yeah.
King is safer there.
And rook c1 was a very nice little move because it stops the break with c6, c5.
But at some point I can even take on e5, no? I have queen g5 check and then f5 is falling. If you take f takes
Yeah,
e5.
so I probably have to take d.
D, and then I cannot open, like, I don't know. I'll just probably play queen f7.
You can, but how? Exactly, queen f7. Maybe I can hang on to my pawn with bishop c2.
Yeah, and play...
I feel like now if I get
maybe?
bishop d3, king e2, then I'm...
d4 you wanted to play...
I will also just move back.
Yeah.
It's maybe to f2 even now already.
Yeah. Oh, maybe d4 is not right. Maybe queen f7 also.
But in general, I'm not liking taking on e5. I feel like you can decide whenever you want to take, no?
Maybe I can.
Or you want
I just wanted to take rook queen a7.
Yeah, king
and
e2.
king e2, and if I have bishop f5, if this works, if it doesn't work, that's it.
Wow, okay, I have to take.
Rook g2.
Give me a check, and I continue marching.
Yeah, this one. Looks
And
like it doesn't work, yeah?
It doesn't.
Queen
I have the two bishops and...
Queen f2.
I'm safe. Okay, I have... First of all, already I have all kinds of checks,
okay.
so
Checks,
you are not, but I can always also just protect with rook d1.
Clear, so this doesn't work, then we can leave the rook on e5.
But what a dramatic game, yeah? Look at Erwin is also now fully concentrated. Because how to treat this position? Both players are not having much time. Okay, Alyanov has 15 minutes, Erwin Lamit 24.
Yeah.
But it's a very sharp position. You have to calculate a lot. You have to make very precise judgment. Yeah. It's the tension is on.
Exactly. And in Anish's game, a lot of things happened. I think we will have 4 rook endgame, but with extra pawn for Anish.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we have actually interview ready for you. Interview with David Anton Guijarro.
Congratulations, but are you aware of the fact that terrible things might happen to B group winners in the A group next year?
Well, didn't know it was so bad for the previous champions, but I think it's normal. I will be one of the weakest players, so I think it wouldn't be so strange if they beat me so many times. But I will just try my best. I think I've done good games against good players, so I'll try to do a good tournament.
Yeah. Already for a couple of days, there was almost certainty that you would be the winner of the tournament. What do you consider your best game?
Probably my best game was my victory against Seljanov, I think. I played a very good game with white. I just pressed from the beginning, and I'm very happy I won that game. Also, it meant a lot for the tournament when I got the sole lead. So I think that was probably my best game.
Mm-hmm. And leading with a point, what happened yesterday?
Yeah, I mean, I just tried to play normal. I knew even a draw was a normal result, but I just played what I could, but my opponent just outplayed me. Also, I spent a lot of time in the opening. I think that was probably the key, and then I didn't have time to defend, and I think he just played a good game and beat me.
Yeah, but you didn't panic today because suddenly everything might be in jeopardy.
Yeah, of course it was tough because after before yesterday game it looked like so easy, like probably just one draw should be enough. But after losing, it was a bit tough to come today to the game. But anyway, I just tried to play a normal game. I knew a draw should be enough, so I played more or less solid, and I managed to make a draw.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Bad things happen, right, to the players who qualify to Masters. Yeah, though David Anton can be the surprise next year in Masters.
Absolutely. And this also means that probably we don't know exactly the tiebreaks, but by judging from the interviews, it seems like Anton is almost guaranteed first place thanks to the tiebreaks, whatever happens in the other games, because there are likely scenarios that 2 or 3 players will be sharing first place. A lot of dramas there ahead. But if that's the case, then congratulations for David Anton on winning the Challengers group.
That's true. We have Anish on camera, and the position is already pretty clear. Anish is, it's a 2-result game, I guess. Either Anish will convert.
Yeah, it's a very sharp position, because the first question, what happens after rook a7, right?
Yeah, I thought rook d8.
Yeah, but then I'm winning this rook, but I mean I don't have to give perpetual. However, this c pawn might be the key factor after this. Takes and c3.
Yeah.
And how to stop the c pawn? There is no way to stop the c pawn, right?
There's you mean rook c8?
Yeah, rook c8, then c2, king f1, rook d2, and rook d1 check. Yeah, so this is a problem. And also after rook d1, black plays c2, rook c1, and rook d2, and rook d1 check. So this is the justification behind the move rook e2. If white is not able to play rook a7, that means that he doesn't have a winning continuation.
Yes.
In this case, there are always moves like rook f2 just get back to stability and you have a pawn, but it feels like then even after exchange of rooks, black will be able to liquidate to 2 versus 1. So a very critical moment.
And rook c7?
Rook c7, another question, then can I play rook d8?
Yeah.
If you take on c4, then I'm the one who doubling on the second, which almost always guarantees draw, but you have a rook h4 move.
Rook h4, yeah. And then rook a8?
It stops, but even then the big question is that, for example, rook b2, how, despite being 2 pawns up, can white make progress or not? Because whenever this rook leaves, then the back rank mate is a problem, and there is no way the king gets out of the second rank. So a very fascinating double rook endgame is there.
Yeah, the back rank problem. Although I can play maybe rook c1.
Rook c1 now, but I anyway go rook d8.
But then rook c4.
Yeah, rook d1 check.
Rook f1 and rook d2,
back, and rook d2. We have basically then the same position after rook h4 with the rook on f1.
No, it doesn't change much.
Doesn't change much, in general. Yeah, a fascinating position.
Yeah.
Because it requires so much calculation, and we see Jordan is down to 10 minutes. He must have
catch probably.
Yeah, he must have calculated a lot, because if you don't have enough activity, it might be just lost. So by going for this position, you had to make sure that in all the lines you are in time to get your counterplay.
And if b5?
Then c3.
Then c3.
I feel like the c pawn is a bit closer to
b6.
But who knows? b6, c7,
b7,
b7, and I don't know, move like rook d8.
Yeah.
Then rook d7.
Yeah.
Then rook d7. Okay, I can also just play rook d2. Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, one has the feeling that as white you don't want to get into this pawn race, because you are the one who is pawn up. So white to give the chances. And what can we read from Anish's face now?
Nothing good. Nothing good.
Okay, in my opinion, what he is confronted now, that there is no way here.
Yeah.
That's because, okay, you are pawn up and it's your move, and you also have a rook on the 7th. So it feels like you can be maybe 2 pawns up. How unfair is that if that is not enough?
Yeah, then just bad luck. It's just bad luck then. Let's take a look at Fabiano's game. Knight f3 happened at some point.
Yeah, lot of things have happened, and yeah, really sorry guys, we missed a lot of action in Fabiano's game, but simply since we already congratulated him, we kind of forgot that he's still there. Yeah. He has played an incredible tournament. He's on +6, and it just feels like, okay, yeah, this is a gratis game.
Yeah.
But look at this, yeah, I mean, this knight f3, doubling the pawn is justified because the black pawn from f7 moved to f5, so there's a weakness on e6, but now also white's pawn structure is severely damaged.
Yeah.
Rook
E6.
e1, king f7, knight e2, and wow, do I see correctly? Artem is down to 2 minutes on the clock, so
Yeah.
g5, g4, a8, g8,
Very
fg,
complicated.
fg, queen d6, knight g3, queen d5, nice stabilizer, queen c2, bishop d4. Wow, this is really sharp.
But it looks good for black so far, no?
Looks like black is the one pressing, yeah.
Queen f3, rook comes, also rook, like there is no need now to have rook b8, rook h8 at some point might tie the knight.
The question what to put on e4, yeah? Should white put the rook on e4, which is kind of nice in one sense that the knight protects the king. On the other hand, the rook on e4 is doing nothing, then black can switch to rook a8 and then rook a2.
Yeah.
So it would be very natural to put the knight on e4. After, however, black can play rook h8 and there are all kinds of queen e5.
And he
queen e2.
went queen e2.
Yeah, first queen e2 is played. With
That's also because maybe knight e4, queen f3 at some point he wants to create some chances.
yeah, okay, that's actually just one check.
Yeah.
That's just one check, and he's down to 1 minute 44 for 7 more moves. Wow,
That's exciting.
lot of pressure on Vladislav Artemiev, and Fabi comfortably having 31 minutes. He can really calm down, and okay, probably he's calm anyway.
Yeah.
But usually when you have already won the tournament, you are also excited because okay, you have won, and Fabi was claiming that the last few days he was not really feeling well, and he plays chess like this.
Yeah.
Amazing.
He should be always not well.
Yeah, if it means that he plays like this, then it's a good strategy.
What about c4?
Wow, that's unexpected.
Probably not good.
No, I would not rule it out at all, because yeah, dc, bc, all of a sudden the b2 pawn is extremely vulnerable.
Yeah.
And also you get some rook b3 ideas. I don't know, the other reaction after c4 would be made to play rook d1, but rook d1 I'm also not that happy about.
Not completely sure, yeah. But it seems good so far. I mean, good in sense that okay, white is keeping the tension.
Well, I mean, it looks very scary for white. Yeah. On the other hand, yeah, one should never underestimate the knight.
Yeah.
When the knight suddenly jumps into action, then it can cause quite some trouble. But for the moment, this dark square bishop on d4 is such a piece, such a monster. Fabi, I'm expecting him to take some time now.
Yeah.
The question is, after queen e2, does white have another move? I mean, it's still not obvious because queen e4 cannot really be played because b2 is hanging, so white probably relies on knight e4 and then queen f3 check, yeah. For example, the line we discussed. And another one that after queen e5 could maybe the idea of knight g5 exist, because thanks to the queen on e2, with queen e6 white gets very active, and this should be at least perpetual check feeling wise. So queen e2, a nice move.
Let's see what he will decide.
What can we read from the body languages? I mean, that how calm is Artemiev? This is my question, because that Fabi feels comfortable, that's obvious.
Fabi recovered. Have such feeling. Yeah. Back to Alyanov's game.
Well, I see Erwin Lamy checking out the game of Fabiano Caruana versus Artemiev, which means that
Oh my God.
he is probably satisfied with his position. And
What's
look at this, after king
happening?
d3, c5. That's the move,
Yeah.
that's in the spirit. Bishop takes d5, cd4, black breaks the center.
That's actually a very nice move, I guess, c5. In case of rook c5, then maybe bishop e5, yeah? Using
But also
the
some
queen.
check is there, yeah.
Oh, check is there, yeah.
Basically then you lure the rook away and the queen enters, and this already feels somehow very, very
Yeah.
bad. And also the line that you mentioned, would work perfectly probably for black. Yeah, rook
Bishop
c5,
e5.
bishop e5, fe5 is still
Queen
met by the
g5.
deadly queen g5 check, and after d5,
Queen a7.
first of all,
For-
this is
this
it
just-
takes the rook,
yeah.
but even queen
Queen
a7
a7,
seems
yeah.
to be winning,
Yeah.
because king d4 would be the only move, and then rook b5
yeah.
ends the game as well. Yeah, so king is of course c5, bishop d5, cd. And to be honest, this looks very, very shaky for white. Looks, and just
so
10 moves
heavy.
before, it looked so overwhelmingly good for white.
Yeah.
What a turn of events.
King d4, then probably queen a7. Or I don't even need queen a7.
Yeah, I mean, okay,
I'll
king
just-
d4. I love walking with the king, but yeah, really, queen a7 check is met by what?
Queen, king d3, rook
King d3 back.
d8. Oh, this looks so horrible.
Yeah, this is feeling
Out.
out of
Defend.
control completely.
Yeah.
But okay, yeah, sometimes this would be a typical Jan Smeets king
Yeah.
on d4 and with 30
Let me
seconds,
march,
yeah, 30 seconds on the clock with
Yeah.
all the tension and everything, and Jan Smeets would be really enjoying himself here. But I'm not sure that Pavel Janov does, because simply the tendency, yeah, I mean, he was the one hunting the black king.
Yeah.
He sacrificed the piece, looked so nice, he probably wanted to win in style, and with a very classy defense, Erwin turns the tables, and I don't know, probably white needs only moves here.
Yeah.
Only moves, but which are the only moves? To decide with 6 minutes on the clock, still 10 moves to be played.
And I read in the chat, Engine says the position is drawn after king f2. I mean, drawn, that's a
0-0,
very
yeah?
big, big statement. Anything but draw can happen in this game, yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, maybe then if it's 0-0, I can only assume that it
Yeah.
could be king f2, because every king takes d4 is just too much, and king f2 played.
Yeah.
The king runs back, and Erwin is in deep thoughts now.
Yeah.
Yeah, the justification is also that now after king f2, the bishop targets the rook on g8, and if the rook moves, then I can go rook g1, and I'm the one calling the shots.
Yeah.
Incredible tension is building up here.
That's amazing. If I go d3,
Wow. Just ignore, yeah?
that's not good.
How are
Bishop
you
G8.
gonna answer bishop g8?
Yeah, it's just one check, and if I take on e5, then why did I need d3?
Yeah,
No,
oh,
no,
this is not looking good.
no.
Yeah, the dark squared bishop. Yeah,
Crazy
table
game.
has turned, and the tables keep on turning, yeah?
Yeah.
We just don't know.
Back and forth.
This is a completely crazy position.
Yeah. It's very. I guess it's tougher than Elianov's yesterday's game.
Yeah, because
Much
there it
tougher.
was
Yeah.
it was clearer. At
Yeah.
least you understand. Yeah, it was completely out of control. It was fantastic. Kudos for both players, for Ganguly
Yeah.
going for the sacrifice, and for Elyanov of handling how he handled the attack. I mean, he just defended fantastically. But how to handle this position?
Very tough.
I don't know. Is a move like bishop b7 possible? I would love to activate this bishop
Yeah.
and look at this.
Then taking it will be like, ooh, do
Oops.
I really want it?
Yeah, then I'm feeling happy. Some bishop h4 and all kinds of
Yeah.
things. So white is not really interested of collecting material, much more interested somehow to keep the position together.
Yeah.
But bishop b7 looks like a natural human way of treating this position.
Yeah.
Yeah, lot of tension.
And let's stay with the cameras on this game, but in Anish's game, rook c7, rook c4 happened, but what surprised me a little bit is the move rook b2, not rook d2, not
First
the,
rook b2,
but
yeah.
first rook b2. That's probably also very precise to stop the b pawn. But what was the problem once again with rook d2?
Yeah, good question. Maybe there are just too many checks there, but I mean it's so difficult to check out where all these checks lead. But feeling wise, I'm not really worried about all these checks. Yeah, I mean let's just. But maybe I'm not worried, but this is my mistake.
Should be worried, yeah.
Because maybe these lines are very important. I mean, these double rook endgames. Yeah, maybe rook c5 check, and king g4 can be met by rook g7 check.
Oh, king f3, rook, then f5. Yeah?
Somehow one already has the also rook c3 check, and I'm
rook c3. Yeah.
and I managed to change one rook,
Yeah.
and I'm winning. Yeah. So okay, then it's obvious. Yeah,
Then rook b2.
all these checks. So black keeps the rook on the d8 square and remove the rook from e2.
Yeah.
So that if the king runs, then there is at least no motive of changing it. But okay, this spices things up. Then white has an extra tempo.
Yeah.
But
Can
what to do with it?
he use it? Because if I would love to go back to 7th rank, but then b pawn is hanging.
But is that really a problem? Then you can go in. I mean, how complicated is this? Yeah. I mean, this one seems
But I would love to go to 7th back, no? Because then rook d2 won't be anymore a problem.
Yeah,
as
and
there is
also
mate.
how to react with black. Yeah, it's not that I'm threatening anything yet, but
No.
I can continue pushing b
Yeah,
pawn,
of course.
b5.
No, I simply probably threatening b5, b6, b7. And we have draw.
Wow,
How?
what a great escape by Jeffrey. Yeah.
Oh,
So after queen a5, e5, queen c3, takes, h3, a5. This is black get was his dream scenario. This was the long-term compensation, and knight d3. The move.
but how did he get there? After queen
look
a5?
at Yu Yanji. I mean, he also sits there like he doesn't understand how did this happen.
Yeah.
How did my opponent create so much counterplay? Yeah, because it did feel like after queen a5, white should be able to at least have a long game going on.
e5 was a bit surprising, no? He himself weakened the d5 pawn.
Yeah. And this case, Yu Yanji and Nikita Vityugova are the two players who did not manage to win a game. Yeah, I know how tough it is to win a game here. But yeah, definitely they are very unsatisfied with their result.
And this is the clock of, I guess, Pavel Elyanov, Erwin Lamy.
Yeah. And
is
bishop
ticking.
b7 had been played. Bishop b7 had been played.
Yeah.
White captured and rook b7, and Pavel Elyanov down to 4 minutes in this position. The arbiters enjoying continuing the game, yeah, putting it back, getting ready for the next game, but there is no next game for 1 year.
Yeah, there is no next game for 1 year. Back to Elyanov's game.
Back to the fireworks, yeah.
Okay.
Rook e6.
Rook e6.
Finally, Elyanov thought that okay, the rook is doing nothing anymore on e5.
Yeah.
Let me put pressure on the f6 bishop.
It's so complicated. Like anything can happen in this game.
Absolutely. I mean, I just don't know how to evaluate. I'm not sure that the players have any clue what is really happening. There is this move d4, d3.
D3, yeah.
opening up the diagonal. But on the other hand, it also opens it up for the against the black king. So
yeah,
very double-edged. But d4 d3 is the move, especially when you know that time trouble is also approaching. You want to put the pressure on white.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean
definitely.
it's so natural. d3 and bishop d4 check is a threat. Bishop takes b2. Why not?
Yeah, why not?
And
Just
then-
b pawn.
Yeah.
Just I won't be thinking about mate anymore if I'm queening.
It's looking very, very good for Erwin.
Yeah. It looks really good and interesting what pressure does to players. Yeah, like Pavel had such a good game, but some miscalculation. He probably underestimated knight f6, or he missed it at all. When
or
he
maybe he let
sacrificed.
himself be carried by his emotions.
Yeah,
Because after all, it looks like, wow, this is in the spirit,
Yeah.
but it's in the spirit or it's the right spirit. This is
Yeah.
always two different things. And of course, the way how Erwin Lamy handled this position with knight f6,
yeah.
giving back the knight and stabilizing the structure was just the way a real professor should treat this.
And back to Fabiano's game, b3.
Yeah, so queen e2, rook h8, knight e4, queen e5, so probably the knight takes g5
G5
idea
was-
did not work. So queen f3 check, king g7, b3 had been played, and what is happening here? Artem have done to 47 seconds, which means his last move he made with 17 seconds on the clock, so lot of pressure.
I like black. Rook h4,
But white
Queen
is also
h2,
pretty solid. And
d3.
and Lamy has played d4, d3.
Yeah,
Yeah.
d3 with 14 minutes on the clock.
And he feels this is the
Yeah.
moment to get up.
Yeah.
Let Pavlianov handle the pressure. He has only 4 minutes to play this very tough position. It's a huge challenge. And meanwhile, we also have the big time trouble of Vladislav Artemiev here with 1 minute on the clock.
1 minute to make 4 more moves to reach the second time control. Although b3 is a nice way because the pawn is not hanging on b2 anymore.
How do you react after rook f8? Basically, you have to come back to e2. Because
Yes.
queen g2 will be met by bishop f2
Yeah.
or rook f2. Doesn't matter. So queen e2 has to be played and looking very
But-
scary, yeah?
Yeah, this doesn't look good.
But
at all.
I don't see any way of winning immediately, and if white gets king g2, then one can argue that what did
What
what
achieve?
did black achieve? And Elyanov with 3 minutes on the clock, probably we should be jumping between the games.
Yeah.
Where there is action, we move. We keep an eye on both.
King f3.
D3 had been answered by king f3.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so the king march continues down to 3 minutes.
What if just rook b5? I want
Wow.
queen b7.
Queen b7, I saw, but rook, queen b7, I have rook c6 always.
Ah.
So it's not a mating check.
But then rook, it will be pin, yeah? Or not?
No, of course, but I don't know. I mean, it feels like maybe there is something more in the
Yeah, yeah.
position, but I mean, it's not so easy for black as well to keep everything under control. So
Probably
maybe
also just taking is okay, no? On b2.
it's always an option. Yeah, just collecting this pawn. Okay, probably I will go rook c6 anyway, giving some stability. I want maybe somewhere f6, but f6 doesn't do that much.
Queen g1.
Does this threaten anything?
Queen d1 or queen
So I should come back.
yeah.
I'm asking so that I know. And you were kind enough to tell me that queen d1 is a deadly threat, which I didn't
Yeah.
see at all.
Queen
So you go back to d4, yeah, probably. I
even
mean,
this
because you
looks
need some
good,
queen
yeah.
d5 check, yeah. One of my thoughts were that if black doesn't want to take anything, there's a question that could black play queen d7?
Yeah, with queen d5.
Yeah, and rook f6, queen d4, queen d5 check, king moves to f2, then I have queen d4 check, taking back the rook.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure that this rook is so important, because then I might be vulnerable on the dark squares. Besides, white also has king e3, and any check can be answered by rook e6, so this might just be a blunder.
Yeah.
King f3, and Fabi has also made his move. As we promised, we are jumping, and rook f8, queen e2, queen d5 had been played, stopping king g2.
Oh, but also threatening queen b3 at some point, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, look at this, king g2, rook f2, boom. So white
It
is
looks
kind
like
of...
Fabi is going for +7. No?
Yeah, I mean, okay, his position looks extremely powerful.
Promising.
And Artemiev played rook f1.
30 seconds.
Ah, that's a good. White needs king g2, f3, some cement, yeah.
But I will take on b3.
But then I take on g5. Then I get counterplay.
Ah, okay.
You most probably don't want to let this happen, and Fabi has played
Rook.
king g6.
King g6.
Yeah, protecting the g5 pawn.
King g2 still is not an option, is it? No, it is.
It is an option, but b3 pawn is then already hanging. And then black jumps back with the queen to d5, because at this moment it looks scary that maybe white can use something, but if the queen comes back to d5, then not. And down to almost only 30 seconds for Vladislav Artemiev.
Yeah.
Two more moves to be played. He looks at the clock.
But it's a crucial moment, because if white somehow ends up just pawn down without any counterplay, then it doesn't matter how much time do you have on the clock.
And down to 14 seconds, 12, 11, 10. The tension is enormous. Queen d1 played. Jumping back
giving
to
up b3 is not.
Yeah, jumping back to 30 seconds, 32 seconds, which means he played his move with 2 seconds on the clock. I always wonder if exactly at that moment, when my opponent has like only 2 or 3 seconds, somebody in the audience shouts something and there is a distraction, then how players would react. Because when everything is normal, it's kind of clear that the player knows that, okay, when I will have 2 seconds, I will make my move, I'm in control. But if something unexpected happens in the playing hall, then what to do?
Yeah, and let's update briefly on Anish's game. Rook c7 played, rook b4, rook a7, h5. This is what?
Check and king g8.
King g8.
So this fascinating position continues.
So if I take on h5, the thing is that after rook b2 or rook b2, yeah? Probably.
Yeah, this is a defense.
But I can...
Completely crazy.
Oh my god. I have to
completely crazy.
Play rook f5 or rook a1.
Yeah, rook f5 would be a mistake, because then I can just
rook
check
d2.
And I can simply get your h2 pawn.
Oh yeah, that's draw.
That's the defense. But if you just go back, for example, rook a1, you can simply get your king to h1. You can put rook on g1, but will you be able to convert? I'm not sure, because how to move the pawn from h2 can never really move then.
We need king. Then can I play king g2, but then rook d2, rook b2 might be. Scary. Suddenly I made it.
Okay, you can run. I mean, you are not in danger, but it's not a winning attempt. Another nice illustration. So where to run, how to run?
Yeah.
Mr. Anish Giri, show us the direction.
Okay. He has to take a bit of time
back to he has 7 minutes, and rook b5 had been played. Your move.
Oh, rook
Erwin
b5.
is listening.
That's nice.
Down to 12 seconds. Now back to 40 seconds.
Rook
cc6. So our line continue.
Yeah.
as we discussed. So drama here, drama there. Okay, Artyom only needs to make one more move before the time control.
Yeah.
But here Elyanov still has to do 5 more moves in such a wide position. How do you cope with the tension? It's very, very tough for the players.
Indeed. What shall we try?
It's good for Erwin that he has like 11 minutes because the position is so out of control, it's easy to make mistake. And it does feel like black is doing very well now. Still it can get completely out of control.
Maybe I can try bishop d4 with the idea queen g1.
Just like that, yeah?
Yeah.
And can I hit you with an unexpected rook g6?
You can. And I would not be happy about it. Yes.
I mean, suddenly
I take my move back.
Yeah, that with the rook on, I mean, the 2 rooks on the 6th, I'm having some kind of counterplay. And
yeah.
I was not liking rook b5 so much, to be honest. I felt like it little bit, once I spotted that queen b7 can always be answered by rook c6, and rook c6 anyway looks like a very good move for white. I was not sure
rook
that
f5 I cannot play, yeah.
that black should lose a tempo on it. Can you?
Queen f5, queen g2,
King
queen
g3.
d3. Yeah, it seems like I cannot. Queen
Checkmate.
g1. Oh,
Checkmate.
oh my god, just
Checkmate.
in one.
That's what I'm usually blundering. Mating one is my biggest problem. Yeah, biggest problem.
Yeah, checkmate. Oh, then I can take rook f5.
You can take rook f5, yeah. But anyway, I'm still solid.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still solid. And in fact, there was a moment I played a rapid match with Morozevich, a rapid blitz match in Abu Dhabi, and we had a blitz game where apparently I could have given checkmate in one move. Okay, it was a very unexpected checkmate with a knight on c1, and I missed it. You know, I completely missed it. But I missed it like this that I did not even feel that I missed.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the incredible thing. And then I realized that in that famous game between Vasil Agraf and Magnus in the World Rapid, there I missed mating one with queen c1 check. Yeah. This c1 check
is
I'm missing
the same.
this. Yeah, this queen c1
Yeah,
check.
I remember at some point, I think 4 or 5 years ago, Magnus missed mate in 3 against Anish. But that was like very easy one. It was checkmate.
It was he in Vaikanzi?
Yeah,
he was in Vaikanzi. Yeah, I do remember. Yeah, but I mean, yeah, those checkmates are always tricky.
Yeah.
And besides, let's just jump for 1 second to the Artemia game. There, the dramatic time travel phase has ended because c4 was played by Fabiano, and b takes c4 is the dream move for move 40. You know that you have to make this move, bc, and then you can calm yourself down.
Yeah.
And I do see Artemia walking, and this is exactly the right strategy what we have already discussed. Yeah. After time trouble, just calm your nerves down, make some move, get off from the board, because otherwise you might be still under the impression what you felt during the blitz phase. Yeah. So, okay, the game is still in progress. We see that Anish has taken on h5.
Oh, okay.
So then rook h5, rook b2, it gets to this endgame. They are also about to finish the time control and back to Elyanov because
this is the critical moment. Queen g1. Queen g1. What happens on rook f?
Well, your queen
6?
Your queen d1 check would happen.
Ah, yeah,
no?
Queen d1 check.
You already mentioned.
Oh, that was what I said, yeah?
Yeah, we had this position. Yeah, queen g1, rook e1 was also my defensive setup.
Yeah. I'm not liking that Erwin is making the moves that I say. Usually that's not
rook b5 and queen g1 both are, I keep telling that he's listening. Erwin is listening.
Do something, arbiters.
Look at this.
Yeah.
Erwin is somehow queen on your waves, yeah? I mean, he feels what you tell here.
Queen d4?
Yeah, queen d4, but there is no real threat.
Queen d5?
Yeah, queen d5, but I mean that, okay, I will move somewhere, and queen d5 can always met by rook e4.
Like it's rook e6, yeah? Rook e6?
Probably.
Yeah, rook e1, queen, 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 queen. He has to go somewhere. d4 looks like, to me, like looks like the only place, because I don't want to get back to g7.
Then one would have the feeling that all this action was for nothing, right?
Yeah.
Erwin taking his time, double, triple checking what's going on, and I believe we will see queen d4 in a minute.
Yeah.
But queen d4, can I play rook c7?
Oh, really?
Just a counter threat. Not that suddenly black screen got carried away and okay, finally you just give one check, I play rook e4 and I'm the one who is setting checkmate all of a sudden. And you have no good way of dealing with it. Then maybe Erwin has to go back. Oh, this is not planned.
Yeah, queen g7 back.
Yeah, queen g7 back.
But then...
Will we see a repetition of moves? Rook e6 of course blitzed out. And Erjanov is down to back to 1 minute 30. That's the trick of the 30 seconds. Yeah. If you get back, you can make some easy moves, then you can jump back with the clock.
But I still like rook f5 here. No?
You like, yeah? So you are playing for a win.
I am.
No draws.
No draws.
Can I shock you with king e4? Let me shock you with king e4.
Shock is there.
Just because you don't want draw, I have to fight for my rights.
Okay, so the thing is that if I play rook h5, then after queen h5, queen g2, there is no mate, queen f3. Yeah.
I have queen f3.
All right, I'll take it easy. Queen, oh my god.
I just want to highlight why sometimes intention repetition appears, because of course if there would be some easy solution for black, but rook f5, king e4, look at this.
Yeah, queen d7 also doesn't work because of king f5, yeah?
Queen, sorry?
d7.
Queen d7, but I'm taking with the queen on f5.
Ah, queen. Yeah.
And the queen d4 check,
yeah.
king f3. Yeah, what a nice harmony on the light squares.
Mate.
Yeah, so rook take, maybe that's the problem of Erwin, that rook takes f5 was the planned move when he went to rook b5 and he discovered that there is king e4. And then how you change your mindset.
Oh, wow.
So takes, there is a repetition right now with rook e6. It's not yet a threefold, so queen g1 doesn't mean...
King e4, that's such a, powerful move.
Yeah, the king marches forward, and all of a sudden there are no squares.
Yes.
It's crazy.
It is. Queen.
And Erwin down to 4 minutes.
Speechless.
Not having that much of a time. The bishop is hanging on f6. Now you already feel that if you wanted to capture on b2, you would have liked to do it before. Now all this rook g6 is bothering enough. So I would not be surprised if we are seeing the repetition. It's kind of humanly quite logical. It's quite logical.
But if I go bishop d4, rook g6 and queen d7.
And we see queen g1, yeah. I mean, they are humans after all.
Yeah.
This is a very natural way to...
But if...
The only problem is that draw is not good for any of them.
Any of them.
Both want to win.
Yeah, but somehow I still have a feeling that this position is winning for black. No?
I don't know. I really don't have any feelings. I only feel that this is such a mess, but I do feel that the last two moves were in White's direction.
Yeah.
I do feel that now I'm because once d3 happened, I felt like this is very good news for black, and after king f3, rook b5, I don't believe that there was rook b5 was justified, and this rook c6. Maybe Erwin just missed that the rook can return after queen g1. Maybe he assumed that rook b5 and after rook c6 I'm entering with queen g1 and it, rook f6.
Yeah, but
queen d1 is
Pavel Erjanov is taking his time, not going rook e1 directly, which means does he think of rook c7?
Does he think about winning the game?
c7.
But no, rook e1. I mean, common sense prevails.
Yeah.
There is no way you can No, because
Queen d4. What was?
because queen. I mean, rook c7, queen d1 check. Your check,
Yeah, but
which you mentioned. You know, it was deadly.
yeah, king e4.
We assume that it's deadly.
We assumed, but is it?
Well, maybe not deadly, but okay. I mean, it's scary enough.
Bishop e3.
Really, yeah.
I
You
don't
have
know.
bishop e3, but okay. I mean, I can also give queen h1.
Queen h1
I mean,
check, and that's
yeah.
a draw.
Okay, it's out of control now. Rook e1 has been played. It's again not yet threefold repetition.
Now he can still go queen.
G7, but then
D4.
rook e6 is. I mean, queen g7. Rook e6 would be a threefold repetition. So
Yeah.
this is the first moment when white could claim a threefold repetition, but queen g7 is not yet played.
Yeah.
So lot of pressure on Erwin, because if he goes back to queen g7, it's like silent draw offer
Yeah,
to his opponent.
he can already claim. Yeah, after.
Yeah, he can claim, and okay, depends if Erwin really thinks that he has the right to play for a win or no.
Wow. Yeah, question for us is what happens if after queen g7, rook e6, which we had already, bishop takes b2, but then we had very annoying rook g6, yeah?
Yeah, and there is suddenly some question that after queen g1, did we check rook c7? Well, we talked about it, but
Yeah.
it's so completely out of control that one would assume that this move is not even possible.
Yes.
Especially
Like
I have
queen
in
d1.
my mind, you told me that queen d1 is a deadly threat, so I'm kind of associating this position with the deadly threat of queen d1.
Yeah. Queen g1
And yes, no, I was already
rook
knight
e1,
shocked.
and
And all eyes
this
on
is the
Erwin.
moment. Will we see queen g7? And then it's also very tough for Pavel because it is move. It will be move 39, yeah,
It's
not 40 yet.
yeah.
So then,
But yeah, it's really tough. I was speculating that whether rook e1 in time trouble with very few seconds on the clock is so natural to be played,
Yeah.
because it takes control after queen g7. Instead of rook e6, one can argue that here there is an queen g7
queen
played.
g7, and he can already claim draw.
He can already claim draw.
Oh my God!
A lot
Then
of tension.
let's see what will happen. Will he claim? Will he not? Maybe on 1 second he will stop the clock.
That's also a very tricky situation. Yeah, that how do you claim a draw with? And no,
Oh.
rook c6 played. Wow, the tension continues.
Okay.
Yeah,
Brave.
You see what it means. They want
That's
to.
brave.
They want to try to win the tournament.
But queen b7 is not. It's
Okay, rook 1e4. I mean, I'm not impressed and not scared
not impressed, not scared.
because it's not my game.
Okay. I want back. What if I just?
Take on b2.
But then rook
I have
e7, yeah?
Exactly.
Okay, this is, I think, also psychological decision from Pavel because Erwin is also down on time under 1 minute right now, and he still has to make 2 moves.
And I think rook c6 was a shocking move for Erwin.
Yeah.
Because he felt like, if I'm returning, it's basically the game will end in a draw. And rook c6, no time, and still 2 moves to be played before the time control.
Oh, God.
This is a moment when actually you can easily blunder.
Yeah.
This is easily the psychological moment when you can blunder. Clock is ticking down, all your
30
stability
seconds.
and comfortable situation disappears.
And it
vanishes.
came like a shock for Erwin, I think.
Absolutely. The point is the other shocker that white is settling nothing.
Yeah.
And this is again also the situation that should you maybe just, but what should you do?
13 seconds.
Uh-oh.
Rook b7.
back.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm not liking this. I mean, the rook moved from b7 to b5 with the clear idea of going for this queen b7 checks, which...
But I have bishop b2 and there is no rook e7.
Yeah, that's the justification. And now move 40 is so tough also for Elyanov.
Oh
I mean,
my God.
the price of each move is extremely
is
high.
Really, really very... This is the game of the round.
Absolutely.
Not yeah, the game of the tournament.
It's incredible tension. Imagine if it would be like this, that whoever wins actually wins the tournament outright.
Yeah.
Then it would be even more dramatic like this. Finally, yeah, whoever wins catches Anton David, but tiebreak seems
7
to...
seconds, 5, and he takes
Wow.
the pawn. All right, I guess bishop b2 will happen.
Yeah, you feel like, really, you are collecting
Oh
my
my
pawn? Let me do the same to you. But
This is
bishop b2,
crazy.
rook g6? Or rook g6
Still
is
rook
not...
g6, yeah.
But okay, rook g6 is not such a great move, after all.
Okay, the last move, move 40.
Yeah, and Erwin
And
will
I
take
guess we'll take the pawn.
I mean, you do that to me, I will do
Yeah.
that to you. Payback
Wow.
time.
Wow. And okay, we reached the time control, so
Yeah,
now
you see,
they-
we
yeah.
saw exactly the situation what I was talking about, that Elyanov, old good school, he gets up from his board.
Yeah.
Erwin looked at him like, yeah, really,
Like,
is it possible? and Pavel showed with his finger that, yeah, I'm going to the arbiter, I
Yeah.
will talk to him that, yes, I need now my time to calm down. Very professional. The only question, did he, I mean, taking this risk by avoiding the repetition, was it justified, or is he now understanding after move 40 that he put himself in trouble?
that we will
don't
see
know.
soon. First, let's remind our viewers about the contest, that they can win a very beautiful bottle of water, which is signed by Magnus Carlsen. If they just subscribe today on our channel, Twitch TV Chess, then we will have one lucky one who will get the bottle. Let's take a short break as we already reached the time control, and we'll be back soon. And here we are back with the result in Anish's game. He has 2 pawns, but he could not do anything because of Black's activity and 2 rooks on the board, so they agreed draw.
Yeah, and they are heavily discussing the game. I mean, it was a fascinating struggle and also a fascinating end.
Yeah.
I mean, White has 2 connected pass pawns, but simply this is a fortress. I mean, there is no way to make progress. Now the game finished in a draw, we can go back few moves, and that's kind of the illustration that simply the black king blocks the g pawn, the white pawn from h2 can never move, because in fact, as we see here in this position, if white would make the mistake of moving the pawn, then it allows black to give checkmate with rook h2. So the white rook kind of has to protect the h2 pawn, because whenever it advances already, the rook is not covering the h2 square anymore. And those it just seems that it's a positional draw.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't get fooled by the 0-1 here. Or this is only I'm seeing, Sorry, rook g5 and the draw.
Yeah, they are discussing the game, but it was indeed a very interesting game.
Yeah, and congratulations for Jordan, of course, because with this draw he secured a plus score in Vaikanze. This is an incredible, great result. +1 for Jordan Van Forest, and Anish remains on 50%.
True. Let's go back to Fabiano's game. What's going on? Bishop a7.
Yeah, so queen d1, c4, bc, bc, time control finished, king g2 is played on move 41 and bishop a7 going back. Basically it means that the pawn on d3 is going to fall.
Yeah, looks like.
Looks like, yeah, because black is pinning the knight. There is no way of...
This looks like another win for...
Well, or how to compensate for the loss of a pawn, because one does have the feeling that maybe white has something. In general, white could play f3, finally stabilizing the knight with another pawn and getting out of the pin. But all of a sudden, the second rank will be weakened. Yeah, it's not looking good for Artemiev at all. Wow, will we really see 10 out of 13? Right?
Yeah,
that was a question.
That's incredible. +7. Wow. And playing Fabi's next tournament will be candidates.
Yeah.
And as he mentioned yesterday, he should not take good result as a bad sign, as we know that 2 years ago, Fabiano, it was 2 years ago, right?
2 years ago.
2 years ago, he had awful Vaikanze, but then won the candidates.
Yeah, and it's also, I do remember that from the candidates, the Berlin candidates that he won, he came directly to the Grand Chess Tournament just 2 or 3 days after, and he
won again.
He won, yeah. So it's quite scary if Fabi starts to roll. But on the other hand, now he has 1 month. It's clearly he will take to have some night's rest and a very good preparation for the candidates. Yeah. But Fabi definitely shows that he is playing again his best chess, and then he's capable of doing anything to anyone.
Absolutely. And meanwhile, Vladislav is thinking. We can take a look at the results. And there we are. Alireza Firuza and Daniel Dubov drew their game. Vladislav Kovalyev and Nikita Vityukov also draw. Young Christoph Duda and Vishy Anand also draw. All games basically were draw. Magnus Carlsen, Wesley So also draw. Jordan and Anish just finished their game with a draw. And Jeffrey and Yu Youngi also drew their game. Only game that is left in Tata Masters is Fabiano versus Vladislav, and it seems that Fabiano is on his way to win one more game. Here is the results of the challengers.
Yeah, the result of challengers. The game Ganguly versus Anton Smirnov we have missed completely, but Ganguly has won and bounced back after yesterday's loss. Max Warmerdam finished with double win in the last 2 rounds at the cost of Jan Smeets. and the result, which is very, very important for the tournament final standing, Lucas Van Forest versus David Anton Guijarro, ended in a draw, which means that whoever catches David Anton Guijarro will probably lose out on tiebreak, and the winner of the tournament will be David Anton Guijarro in the Challengers, those moving up to the Masters next year.
That is true. And we have one interesting question in our chat. Hello, Topico and Peter, thank you for the beautiful days of commentary. Could you please comment on what preparation what preparation is like for a top tourney like Tata candidates? Is it different? And World Championship? Thank you. Peter, you're more experienced in this, so I'll let you go first.
Yeah, I think that there is a very, very big difference between playing a super tournament and playing the candidates, because a super tournament is so-called, especially for the top guys, almost like an everyday job.
Right.
I mean, they are used to this, but the candidates is coming like in every 2 years, and you know that first place matters the most. You have to win the event, otherwise you have missed out your chance. And in this case, I believe the players are investing even much more time-wise. They want to create completely new ideas to be able to surprise another very well-prepared opponent. So the candidates is like the highlight of every 2 years, tournament-wise. And I think Wesley So, who was doing very well in tournaments, and he was regular and used to be playing all these super tournaments, find out in Berlin what it means to play the candidates and the super tournaments, because suddenly he said he did the same what he was doing before every super tournament, which worked fine, and in the candidates he felt underprepared, which means that his opponent really shocked him with some incredibly deep preparations, and this is what we are expecting in a tournament like this, especially in the Tata Steel Chess before the candidates. For example, all the players like Fabiano, Anish Giri, the players who play in the candidates might have thought that we don't want to show our cards yet. On the other hand, what we have seen from Fabi, it was good enough.
Incredible, Indeed, and it's I agree absolutely that it's completely different, the preparation phase. Also, it's a double round robin tournament. You're playing with one player with both colors, white and black, which gives probably more space to prepare, because you know that you will have both colors and you're not waiting for the pairings, but it still matters in which order you will get who. And preparation for World Championship match, that's completely different topic, as you have a lot of time before the match.
Exactly, and then also you already know exactly this one person whom you are facing. But as also the World Championship matches are showing, it seems like you have a lot of time, but finally you always run out of time and you are not covering, because your opponent also prepares so much, and usually every player tries to come up with a surprise, because he knows that his opponent is preparing for many months, and then you feel like it's very nice to disbalance him. And often the case that if you are the one who is surprising your opponent, it looks like, wow, you are very well prepared, while believe me, the opponent is exactly as well prepared, but who puts the surprise has the advantage.
And the biggest advantage in preparing for World Championship match, I see that when you prepare for the World Championship match, you prepare so much, doesn't matter how it goes, then you're just super ready for the other tournaments. You have a lot of ideas which you can use in your upcoming tournaments as well.
Usually for 1.5 years it's more than enough.
You're covered for 1.5 years. And we have F3 on the board.
There was just nothing else.
Now the question is, shall black take with the queen or with the pawn? With pawn it looks more natural to me, as the queen is like the soul of the position. It covers everything, and we also need the queen on the board because white king is vulnerable.
I mean, one can argue that also the black king is quite unsecure, but unsecure if white gets to this king. But there is only one scenario with rook h1, rook h5, but it feels a little slow. For example, let's take a look at the line CD. If white tries to activate with rook h1, For example, black plays rook c8, white goes rook h5, and black is the first to give a check, and this check looks good enough. I mean, where to go with the king, and c takes d3 had been played.
Yeah.
There is even a motive that after king h3 I can play bishop b8, and after rook g5, queen g5, knight
and mate.
Knight g5, rook h2 check.
That's beautiful.
Mate can arise. This is an illustration of what white is faced with. You don't want to put the king on the first rank because it feels like then okay, you are just doomed and it's game over. So everything relies on going active, but going active doesn't work as well. So in this sense, after f3, c takes d3, maybe white needs some stabilizing move.
Yeah.
But stabilizing move is what exactly in this position? Because one could say that yeah, queen d2 followed by rook d1 also eyeing on g5, but this runs into rook c8, rook d1, rook c2.
Oops.
So maybe white has to go rook c1 then, but I mean even after the change of rook c, okay, maybe this is the best.
This is best what he can get.
Yeah, because now also some queen c8, then finally the white queen could be useful. So maybe this is an idea to try to fight black's d pawn.
Yeah, and after actually queen d2, white wants to play rook d1.
Yeah, I mean then it feels like I'm activating my pieces. One question, maybe you can play bishop b8 and rook d1 you just play rook h8. I did not, I wanted to show rook d8 with the idea of bishop f4 kicking the queen out, and then I might be playing d2. I don't know where does rook h8 lead.
No, queen d3 just, and
rook h2 check and just back,
yeah. Queen, yeah, I don't have any.
Yeah, now the knight is threatening to jump, yeah. I mean, very sharp position, obviously sharp in a sense that, yeah, black is doing extremely well, but white has his chances. Black has to make sure that he's covering all these contra chances which white is trying to create for himself.
Yep, that is true. So
yeah, maybe we can move to the maybe we can move to the challengers.
Yeah.
The game between Pavel Elyanov and Erwin Lamy is still on. We have seen one of the most fascinating time troubles in this tournament.
Wow, that's incredible.
But let's just say that this is way too complicated to give an instant evaluation, and check out what Nodirbek Abdusattorov might be doing against Dinar Sadvakasova, because if Nodirbek wins his game, then he catches the leader Anton David Giharo on +4.
Yeah.
And maybe this position is easier to judge. Yeah, I mean,
this is just pawn up for white, but knights and games are always tricky.
Yeah, usually they say knight end games are like pawn end games. If we would think like this, then this position should be a win for white. But here this is a very special moment. The black king is very active, puts pressure on the b4 pawn. It does feel though that white should have very good winning chances. But here this is not as dramatic. I mean, it's a one-sided affair. Nodirbek will win his game or not, it's another question, but he has good chances. On the other hand, black also has decent chances to maybe to defend this position.
Yeah, knight c7 was the last move, so the idea is that if king b4, then I guess g4, hg, hg, and knight d5 is the point.
Yeah, I mean, this would be a very nice exchange in general for white, because one has the feeling then black has to play g5, that the black king is too far away, but there is just no reason why black should hurry taking this pawn. But that's the problem, that what to do. Maybe b5, king c5, b6 is anyway a threat.
Yeah, with knight d5 anyway.
With the same ideas, yeah. So Nodirbek is taking his time.
Maybe h4?
That's one option, but then this
e4.
h4 pawn will be weak, I wanted to highlight that, Nodirbek has a very big time advantage with 1 hour 4 minutes on the clock versus Dinara Sadvakasova's 19 minutes. So it's all looking very, very good for Nodirbek. But let's get
back to Erwin's game.
Let's get back here and
oh my god.
Yeah, so
oh my god.
The time trouble finished after bishop takes b2. Both players' last moves were like, yeah, it's far on board, but let's both try to grab these pawns. Queen f7, rook g8, queen g8, queen h6, and queen d5 check.
With rook e4
happened, and rook
what
e4
is going on? Queen f8 is a threat.
is a counter strike, yeah. But queen f8 is also nothing deadly because of queen g8.
But I have a feeling that black is doing better somehow.
Then
I
white?
don't know, than white. No?
I don't know. I mean, there are all kinds of a5, a6 moves in the air. You have a very strong passer on the a file. You have some very strong one d and b, but they are kind of blocked.
Like if I play bishop g7 right now?
You go back to g7.
Then queen a6 or?
Queen e6. Can I play queen e6?
Yeah,
it's a tempo.
queen a6, yeah.
Yeah, I want to keep a tempo, and then I want queen e8 check. This might be very dangerous for you.
And if I take actually and b3, then e7 is
then
problem.
e7, yeah, my pawn is faster.
Yeah, so I shouldn't do that.
Yeah, so rook e4. I don't know exactly what you should be doing. Certainly looking very, very sharp, but seems also like white is not risking at all already. I mean, white has this a6 move, white has all these queen f8 check threats.
Yeah.
And black's problem is that black cannot really play rook e7 because that runs into queen f8 check and winning. So black cannot make use of this pin. But then what is Erwin doing? Erwin took his time.
Yeah.
Erwin took his time, but...
Yeah, the pin is annoying, but white still has... Is also f6 at some point might be
yeah, but the question is that what to do with this, what to do with these pieces.
Yeah.
Really a problem. I don't know, it looks to me that this is unpleasant.
Looks like.
This is unpleasant. Yeah, this rook g6, we spotted already in many of our analyses that whenever white gets this chance of playing rook g6 and exchanges the g rook, which was posing so much headache for white because the queen could enter on the g file. Queen f7, rook g8, queen g8, queen h6, a very, very nice move. Queen d5, and Erwin has played rook b8. That's what he's basing on his strategy.
Classy move.
Pardon me. Then who knows what is happening? Yeah, first of all, it steps out of a6, steps out of all kinds of 8th rank check. And then how to evaluate all these pawn races.
Yeah, rook b8. It's very nice. It covers everything. But I was afraid of f6 at some point.
f6 or queen e6?
Or queen e6, yeah.
f6 is also a move, yeah. I mean, how do you cover the checkmate? But since I'm not good in checkmating, I wanted to change the... make sure that I change the queens.
Maybe queen b7, yeah?
Yeah, maybe queen b7.
But a6 then.
Yeah.
I don't want to
No,
lose
I'm not.
Like this.
I'm not liking this.
Or bishop b4 could be also a problem there. Queen f7.
But look at Erwin just took a cup of tea.
Yeah.
He's going for a walk, like if he would think everything is under control.
Right.
Is it poker face?
Maybe. Although, maybe, yeah, nobody understands anyway what's going on. And
yeah, there is a question also that after, for example, queen f7, rook e7, queen d5 check, I have again.
Oh.
Where does this lead?
Okay, perpetual if wanted.
I mean, if you go here, I go rook g8 check, you have rook g7, but I can take rook g7, fg, and oops, pardon me, checkmate. Checkmate, yeah, I mean, you are not threatening yet anything. I might be even able to take.
I'm what's written in there.
Ah, Queen H7. Yeah,
Yeah.
this mate in ones. Yeah, this is. I'm just too exhausted, guys. Sorry, but I'm just too exhausted.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's.
Yeah, I mean it's very scary. I mean all this stuff is extremely scary. Also, Queen E6
Queen E6
scared me a bit. But then you can take on A5, and after F6, then you have Queen H5 check. Aha, okay, that's
At
a
least the
defense.
best, I think.
Yeah. Well, it's very sharp. Maybe while we are looking, we haven't looked at Niels Grandelius versus Vincent Keimer at all.
Yeah, but before I'm suggesting to take a small